All right. Well, good afternoon, good day, good morning to everyone here. It's yet another week of Rockpool Community Call. And today I'm very excited to introduce a special speaker that we have, a special guest from the Relend network. Yaron, good to meet you.
Yeah, hey guys, nice to meet you too.
Excellent. Would you like to introduce yourself to the community and tell us a little bit about Relend and what it is?
Yeah, sure. So maybe a bit background on myself and, like the Relend team. So myself, I was, my journey in DeFi blockchain started around 2016. But I'm also the CTO of Relend Network. Back in 2016-17, I was CTO, co-founder of Kyber Network, one of the first, DeFi protocols ever to exist in DeFi, before Uniswap. Like back then, Bancor, was, I think DeFi was not even coined DeFi. But before blockchain, I was actually doing PhD in computer science and a lot of software engineering background. Then starting in DeFi, so CTO of Kyber Network ever since 2019, 2020. I'm mostly doing stuff around lending market, risk analysis, and advisory of risk parameters, also some security audits. And it became very apparent that, like DeFi, credit in DeFi and in crypto in general is so first of all, it's very lacking and also very inefficient. If you look at the real world, the ratio between, credit and actual money supply is almost the opposite if you look at crypto. So in the real world, you have actually much higher debt than actual, reserves in the bank or other assets. Where in crypto, it's almost the opposite. So, even if you only look at stables, you have something like 100 billion, or even 200 billion of stable coins on chain. But the DeFi credit market is only in the order of, $40 billion. And you see, especially in bull market, so you see lack of credit in, high interest rates and very volatile interest rate in Aave, but also very high funding rates in exchanges and all over. And then the solution we see for it, which might seems a bit controversial, at first look, is to kind of adopt the concept of fractional reserve banking. So, in crypto, everyone loves to hate banks, and in particular, they always quote like the fractional reserve aspect of it as kind of the source of all evil. However, that's not really the point. And even DeFi protocol, even if you take Aave as example, is fractional reserve. And there's a lot of confusion between fractional reserve versus under collateralization, and it's not the same. So basically, the way banking system of fractional reserve can help, really increase credit all over. So it's pretty complex topic. So we'll have to give this example of, think of a village with only 10 people and one local bank, right? And this bank has only $1 million of bank deposits, right? Where, of course, the analogy here is, think of an L2 or on some ecosystem with only $1 million of supply. And then you have like 10 houses, like in this village, say all belong to the chief, and you want to sell each of them for $1 million. And of course, each of the villager is free to take like a mortgage from the bank. Mortgage is always over collateralized, backed by the house itself. So, person A take a mortgage of $1 million, buys the house, pays, the chief $1 million. But then the chief puts it back in the bank, right? Because, where else you can keep the money. So after that, the second person can also come to the bank and borrow $1 million because the bank has, a balance of $1 million. And you can repeat this process over and over, 10 times is what we plan to do. It's even conservative. In the real banking system, it's getting very close to, X 100 even. And the bottom line here is that you had an ecosystem with $1 million, but you were able to generate economic activity of $10 million. And we think this is the solution. We have like a crazy explosion of many L2s, many even L1s, right? The whole lack of liquidity. We think eventually this is the solution, just having like more credit, extend more credit. This will provide, credit is always the basis for liquidity. Right now, we only talk about DEX liquidity, but, once crypto hits like mainstream adoption, it will also have to facilitate real economic activity. And then credit is even, more crucial because economic activity is driven by credit, but also increase the credit supply, and then increase credit supply also increase economic activity. So this is like relending, and like a general concept, and it was not even invented by us. It exists in the traditional economy, and then bringing it to like DeFi. So the analogy here is that we implement fractional reserve bridges. And this will be used for like various L2s. First and foremost, it will be our own L2. And then you can think of bridging to the L2 as depositing money in the bank. But the bridge will be able to give extent credit, again, all over collateralized, but very similar to the village and the Indian chief in the local bank there. This is Relend.
Yeah, so kind of a lot to digest in there, but let me see if I got the gist of it, which is the kind of product that you're bringing to market here is a fractionalized reserve banking process, but a DeFi one, right? And so where is Relend in the process? Are you alive on mainnet? Are you just starting down that road? And then a second follow-up, what is going to be the integration with rETH? Where does that come into the picture?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So right now we are still in development process. However, we already launched a pre-deposit campaign. And in this pre-deposit campaign, instead of just setting up a multi-sig and ask, users come deposit in our multi-sig, instead we are operating Morpho vaults. So Morpho is now, I think, the second biggest lending market over Ethereum, but it's different than Aave in the sense that it lets anyone kind of manage their own mini lending market there. So you can set up a vault, user supply liquidity into your vault, and you decide in which market to lend it in. So my background is also B protocol, and I was managing Morpho vaults even before in the network. So we kind of took this opportunity, and our pre-deposit campaign is actually a new Morpho vault, and already so a new Morpho vault, but also an existing ones, where user can deposit either USDC and ETH, get native yield, from the actual lending we bring. By the way, get also Morph tokens, but on top of that, also get Relend units, with kind of the expectations, which is not enforced, that in the future, once Relend network is live, the liquidity, users will bridge the liquidity and, for example, to increase their bonus or points, bridge the liquidity to Relend network. In terms of the collaboration there, so eventually when Relend network is live, it's very important for us to attract like supply and assets to have on our ecosystem, because once they are there, they are available as fractional reserve, available for lending, available for kind of economic expansion. As kind of intermediate step before we are live, we are reaching out kind of to selected projects and protocols, where Morpho is kind of like very easy venue to collaborate. So we just kind of identify and select the potential partners and kind of the strategic assets we want to have in the future in Relend network, and we already list them as a collateral in our managed Morpho Vault. So our ETH was one of the first collaterals that is listed there, and it's actually listed even before the Relend network campaign where we manage the Morpho flagship vault. So users, our ETH holders, are free to kind of come to Morpho. We supply ETH there, so they can borrow ETH, they can loop it, if they want. It's important, by the way, to understand that Morpho, unlike Aave and the others, it's a completely immutable project and completely immutable lending market. So, arguably there is some risk for the supply side because of that, but, we as curators manage the supplier side. But if you hold RETH and you just want to loop it there, again, I wouldn't say, it's nothing is risk-free. RETH can, depreciate in price. There might be smart contract bugs, even though, currently it holds over $2 billion, the Morpho contracts. But one thing you can be certain that unlike Aave, no one could change your parameters, right? I mean, even if Morpho get wrecked in some other market, it will not affect you at all. Even if we want to lower the, some parameters there, we cannot actually change it. We have to open a new market for it. So as RETH, kind of token holder who want to kind of deposit and take loans against it. Again, nothing is, 100% safe, but it's considered relatively safe. And I would argue even safer than Aave and the rest because of the property of immutability.
Okay, excellent. And then a couple last questions here is, will there be any incentive program to attract depositors of rETH to explore your ecosystem? And then if they wanted to find more about the protocol, where can they go do their research and learn more about the protocol?
Yeah, so the incentive, again, this is kind of for all. So the incentive is mostly for like the supplier side, because again, kind of this is also one of the motivation for Relend network is that borrowers, if the interest rate is attractive, especially relatively, kind of risk-free borrowers, RETH versus ETH. If the liquidity is there, borrowers will come because it's almost free money, because of the difference in the yield. So it's typically important to give incentives to the supplier, and yeah, we give Relend units to suppliers. To learn more, we have a live website, relend.network. We also have a Twitter channel. I don't know if I can share it, or yeah, I see Inyo also joined. Maybe he can share it like in text in some of the channels. So we have a full like a documentation website. We have like docs. We have a website. We have a Twitter channel. We have Telegram. And yeah, actually, maybe you can join and share all these channels where users can learn more and also participate in more active manner.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm just dropping the Twitter here in the chat, and then also another fun thing, we got a little Telegram bot up, just sort of engage and keep up. So you can just DM like Relend bot on Telegram. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, perfect. And is there anything else that we haven't had a chance yet to cover that you feel is important for the Rocket Pool community to know about Relend?
I think it would actually be a question from us to you guys. I mean, it's interesting to understand how holders of rETH are currently deploying it, what sort of yields are being looked at, what's interesting. Is it just being held? Is it currently being lent against? Is there demand to lend against it? I think from our side, it's always interesting to understand that.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a long-standing liquid staking token, and so there is been a number of DeFi integrations. I'm blanking on the name. Maybe somebody can put it in chat, but there's a nice website that the community keeps up with support of our grants and management committee that talks about all of the DeFi integrations. And so this is certainly an integration with Relend we can add to it. And yeah, it does seem to be maybe one of the fundamental composable assets that's used in a lot of DeFi DeFi protocols as collateral or as a token that they support in their protocols.
For sure. I think closing thoughts from our side. We're excited to be working with you guys. I think it'll be super exciting once we actually have Relay Network live and we can see what it looks like if we can unlock ETH at super low interest rates. Keen to work alongside you guys.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure to have both of you on today's call and to learn a little bit more about Relend. And one more time, the best site for them to go to learn more is at relend.network. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's 100% correct.
Perfect. Well, excellent. Well, feel free to hang on for the rest of today's community call. We've got a couple of items from Mav that we'll have a chance to go for, but I very much appreciate both of you joining and sharing a little bit about your protocol and the upcoming integration with rETH.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Mav, are you back with us?
I am. Hi, Ken.
Hey, good to hear from you here. Are you first? I know it's not on the agenda, but first, are you getting packed for Thailand, or is it just so close to Australia? It's just like a day trip for you. You don't even pack ahead.
Well, compared to Denver, yeah, it is a lot more convenient. I feel like for me, at least, DevCon's been that thing that's been months away, and then all of a sudden, it is a week away. So, did kind of sneak up on me. There's a few last-minute bits and pieces still sorting out in terms of our attendance there, one of which we'll of course talk about a bit later on, the community event. But then, for example, working with Sleety to get some updated video content, and then there's the various talks and presentations that will be done in Bangkok. So for me, I think packing will be a last minute, probably night before affair at this rate.
Yeah, amazing how that comes up. I'm 6 days away from having to board my flight, so I'm starting to panic a little bit about what I'm going to fit in my suitcase and how many suitcases I need to bring back. But in one of Langer's posts, he was kind of hinting, dropping some alpha bread, that some big announcement was going to be made this week. Do you know what that is?
I alluded to an announcement in one of my posts. I'm not exactly sure what Langers was referring to, but it could be the same thing, which is a fairly poorly kept, quote-unquote, secret. Not exactly a secret, in that, as probably a lot of the listeners know, over the past months and, well, years, not quite, but probably is over a year at this point, we've tried through various avenues to regain access to the Rocket Pool Twitter account, the X account, and it's looking like we are now in the final stretch. So thanks to support from Alpha Growth, who the GMC have engaged to support the protocol, we did manage to get, I think that was earlier in the week, Dave managed to get access restored, and there's just a final couple things that we need to sort out before it's good to go. Ironically, the final hurdle is an X security feature, which would have been nice if it worked and existed back in the day, but we want to update the payment for the Premium Plus on the account. That requires a phone number to be updated. That process has like a cooldown, once you submit it, you have to wait and then go through all this security procedure, which is great, of course. But yeah, that was kind of the last final delay to be able to tweet again. So yeah, very excited and great to have that support from Alpha Growth to get access returned. So Twitter essentially, whatever they did, we're not too sure, fixed everything up. They haven't offered an explanation. We haven't pushed for it. But it does seem pretty obvious that, I guess, off the record, at least to me, that there was some internal issues at Twitter. There was a post a few weeks ago, I think. I can dig it up and share it in trading if people are interested. There's that, I think is it SEAL 911 or whatever they call themselves, that kind of security outfit group association, people that do a whole lot of security related stuff in the space. I think at some point Dave and or Langers spoke to one of the guys from that group ages ago. They put out a post, well, I think it was a thread. One of their posts was talking about internal compromises at X, and we haven't talked to them for a long time, but they called out the Rocket Pool account as one that they believe was caused by this, and I think they were naming some suspect or some account that might have been behind it. Anyway, all that to say, access is back. We don't know exactly what happened, so hopefully on X's part they've kind of tidied up and plugged holes internally to stop that happening again. I know recently there were a couple of, was it Eigenlayer and one other, they got hit. I'm not sure if there was a postmortem on them out yet, whether that was something more straightforward. But yeah, exciting to have that asset back. Will be useful for our marketing efforts going forwards. I think that's it on the Twitter announcement. So I was wanting to put out a pretty comprehensive announcement in the protocol announcements channel at some point this week. That would include, of course, the Twitter account. There's a few more items that will go into that. I feel like on this call we can maybe just go through them. So yeah, everyone will be the first to hear who's listening in. The Twitter was the main one though, and yeah, we're excited to have that back.
Yeah, that's great news about it, and certainly appreciate everyone's help from both. As you said, I think it is SEAL 911 or something like that. I do recall them and seeing them quite a bit active on the Twitter space, and kind of shout out to Alpha Growth. I see Sad Broke, you're on the call here. If I don't know if you want to mention something, but maybe if not, just maybe if I can have you mute your mic if you're listening in here. But definitely appreciate all of Alpha Growth's kind of point of context to kind of escalate this within the Twitterverse and the Xverse. So that's great. I guess, Mav, to you, one question I have is when will we see the account tweeting again? Is it you're just waiting for the verifiably account, or when can we expect the first tweet? I'm back.
Yeah, as soon as we're cleared this final hurdle, I've got a bit of a calendar draft up of daily content that we can push out. Obviously, there's been a lot happening in the coming days as well to talk about. And actually, on that note, can probably call out if there's anyone. Sorry, stand by. If there's anyone listening in that contributes to Rocket Pool in any way, whether that's the DAO or rescue node or something else like that, I'll be on the lookout for kind of, I guess, internal co-marketing collaboration opportunities. With the Rocket Pool account being down for so long, it's probably a good opportunity to remind the wider kind of crypto space on X about different parts of the protocol. So yeah, drop me a DM Maybe wait until the account's online, just so that's kind of fresh. It should be, again, this cooldown, which was 48 hours, 12 hours ago. So within a couple of days we should be up and running, and then be looking for any content that people open to recommending, see what we can do in terms of supporting that. Similar notes, I'm going to be starting the process soon of reaching out to the various protocols that we've helped with co-marketing over the years, and to see if they can reciprocate a little and give us a bit of a boost to get that engagement back up. And
yeah, and I would also think that there's lots of our community members here that have X accounts, and we can certainly try to boost once the Rocket Pool account is back in tweeting again in the world. We can try to boost that and echo that, and try to build up a little bit of excitement around it coming back to get it back in the swing of things again.
Yeah, that would be great.
I see the next thing. Yeah, perfect. I see the next item on the agenda here you listed just as community updates. What can you share about that?
Yes, so I'm kind of just reading through what's going to be in this announcement. So nothing particularly noteworthy. Probably one to call out. We're going to be adding a new rocket scientist soon, which is a little bit overdue. So that announcement will go out in conjunction with X and everything else that we're going to talk about. In that announcement, I haven't done it for a little while, there's going to be a call out on just for everyone to have a bit of a think about behavior in general on the Discord channel. Nothing in particular that stood out, but I guess the catalyst was just the fact that we do have potentially people returning to the community who may have been away for a little while. The thought of Ethereum mini pools and potentially participating in NodeSet may have brought them back. There may be new people joining, so I'm kind of obliged to put that out every now and again. And then of course we do have our special little politics thread that helps to keep all of that related content well contained. But obviously there is a big election coming up soon, so just a reminder for people to what is Dave's rule number 1? Be excellent to each other. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and I always liked the E-Staker mantra, right? Welcoming first, educational second. So, yeah, probably very, very good advice for the community as a whole here. And very excited to hear about the expansion of the rocket scientist. I know there's many people in the community that are kind of worthy and deserving of that. So I'm looking forward to that announcement to see the latest on that. Anything else from the community announcement that you want to share with the folks listening to the community call ahead of the publication?
I think that was pretty much it. But that's probably a good segue into the community event in Thailand. I see, Kivster, your question here about volunteers during DevCon. So maybe we can cover that now. So first of all, we did put out a ping, I think it was a week or so ago, for people to indicate their availability for DevCon week for a community meetup. At the time, there were still a couple of things falling into place in terms of side events and other events and activities. We have a pretty good picture on that now. At the time that people were responding in the conferences channel, it looked like Friday the 15th of November was going to be the most popular option of the dates that were provided. But now we've got a new option that might suit people better, which is Wednesday 13th of November. That seems to be a little bit of a gap in terms of the various DevCon events and related events that are going on. So if you are going to be in Bangkok, if you could help me out for a second, just pop over to the conferences channel. The most recent post, drop some thumbs up or thumbs down of what you can attend. I feel like Wednesday will end up being better for most people. Obviously, if you're there for DevCon, you will definitely be there on the Wednesday, whereas people might be potentially flying out, Friday night, and that might be a bit tricky. So I get the feeling it's going to be Wednesday. We'll lock that in once hopefully we get a couple more people responding, and then this announcement I'm putting out towards the end of the week or over the weekend will be another reminder for that. So details to be confirmed. It's going to be more of a casual affair. I guess we'll probably have 20 people max attending, so one of the many excellent bars or maybe a restaurant around Bangkok will be the starting point, and it'll be great to see everyone. We'll probably see a lot of people before that, though, of course, including potentially at the Staking Reward Staking Summit, which is going on before DevCon. That is the one time that we may benefit from some volunteers. There's going to be a booth there, although it is only a 2-day affair, and we will have I think the 7 team members there for both days. I don't recall there being another side event that some of us would rush off to, so we should be pretty good to have a couple team members manning the booth. But if someone's around, feel free to pop by and hang out for a bit. We're not going to do a roster this time around. It's probably more hassle than it's worth, really, and I feel like there's going to be enough presence at the Staking Summit that it will just sort itself out. And anyway, the attendance is, compared to ETH Denver, going to be relatively low, and I feel like there'll be a lot of people, as you would expect, who are more knowledgeable about staking. It's probably going to be like a quality rather than quantity of a booth being swarmed by dozens of people at a time like we've seen in the past. So yes, if you're around Staking Summit, support would be good. Otherwise, we'll see you at the main event, DevCon.
Yeah, a couple of things on there is, I don't know if I've seen the latest numbers for Staking Summit, but maybe I'm making this up, but I think they were expecting maybe 1,000 people, and that's pretty good turnout, I think, for a staking focused one. And did I see something like close to 10,000 for DevCon? I don't know if those numbers are accurate or not, but and of course DevCon would be kind of a zoo. We'll get lost in there without having a central meeting point like a booth or something like that. But Staking Summit, I'm hoping you get pretty good traffic through that booth.
Yep, fingers crossed.
Although fingers crossed. Yeah. Although it seems like many of the people attending are affiliated with the staking protocol, so everybody might have their own booths. It might be might be 100 booths each, staffed by 10 people. But anyhow, it should be a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, that is true. And then even the kind of staking participants will probably more likely to be, as you say, on the protocol side, or maybe the quote-unquote professional side rather than home stakers. But we'll see. I'm guessing like last time there will be a lot of focus on restaking and maybe some of these other things that are happening on other chains. I think wasn't restaking Bitcoin a thing? Maybe it still is. I'm not sure. It might be an interesting learning opportunity.
Yeah, just interjecting just for a second. I see Sam's thing on here about sad broke director. If you're listening to this, you've got a hot mic in here. I guess I could mute you on my end, and perhaps other people can just either click on your name and mute you, but your mic is still on. So I think I can only mute it for myself, not for everyone else here. So if you can try to mute your mic, please. I don't know, Mav, unless you've got superpowers.
I muted him a little while ago, so not sure what's going on. I can't hear anything, but then someone was saying that earlier.
I don't know if we're just muting him for ourselves or if we mute him for everyone else on the channel, but folks will have to post in here if you're still hearing some hot mic. So thank you. It looks like it's fixed now. Whatever we did. But yeah, and then it'd be great to kind of know what date Rocket Pool chooses for its community meetup. Although Thomas here has promised me that you had something epic and planned in mind. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what you put together here. But I've been promised it will be an epic night for all.
Well, you're going to be there, Ken, right? So I guess by default, then it is an epic night. But
no pressure on that. But whatever you plan, it will be great to just spend time with the community and the team and anybody else that's Rocket Pool aligned in there. Anything else on Bangkok and DevCon that you want to talk about?
Just one thing: if you are going to be in Bangkok, check if you've been given the DevCon role. We may be using it throughout the week and a bit to coordinate with people. So if you don't have the role, you won't get a ping. Just double check, let me know if it's missing, or also if there's anyone in trading can let me know. I did ping earlier in the conferences channel. I'm not sure if it worked. If someone could let me know, that would be cool. I can get Langus to have a look at it later on.
And if they don't have the role, what should they do? Post in conferences. There's also a thread in conferences specific to DevCon 7. I've been posting a lot of side events and kind of schedules and travel guides to the city. So
yeah, just ping me and we'll get you added.
Okay, and I see everyone here is already lobbying for their favorite nominees to the rocket scientist list here. So be great to see what the team is thinking coming ahead here. But then also we put on the agenda here the elections, and there's a lot of chatter and trading about what election we were talking about, but we're talking about the GMC elections. Mav, what's the latest on those?
Sorry, I'm just trying to multitask a little bit there. Yes, so there are a couple of big elections going on. One arguably a little bit more relevant to Rocket Pool than the other, and the one we'll talk about very briefly is the GMC. The vote is live right now, so there's should be just over a week, maybe 10 days left to vote, and it is a little bit different to most of the votes that we have. This is weighted voting, so you can split your power across the different nominees, and then the top 9 of them will be elected, with those outside the top 9 being I think it's a reserve or reserve members in case of changes throughout the year. So head over and cast your vote. Also on the DAO Governance Forum, there is a discussion thread where some of the members have explained about what they intend to contribute, and I think some people have started sharing how they intend to vote as well. Yes, it is linked from the vote, so you can also find links through to RPIP 40, which defines the GMC, and then RPIP 10, which defines how the MCs in general are elected.
Yeah, and it just looked like a fabulous group of candidates, both incumbents and challengers that are in there, and just really great to see so many active contributors that we know of from the community here or from Post and Trading, actually see them step forward and be willing to serve their time on the committee. So just, my gratitude for all of those that are running and campaigning for this. Any other things, Mav, that you want to talk about on the community here?
I guess one final point worth calling out for the GMC is, as you say, Ken, and as most of us know, testament to the strength of the Rocket Pool DAO, that we have some great nominees, and it's not and we're not, struggling to get people to put their names forward. So that is great. In terms of other topics, I think that's about it. We won't be having a community call next week. Next week will be a 3-part adventure for those of us flying into Bangkok, rushing around trying to prepare, being on a plane, and then the staking summit, and dealing with a bit of jet lag. What we intend to do, though, is the following week, and hopefully we can coordinate it with you, Ken, is do like a live report from DevCon. I think there are, I recall seeing, and I'll put this on my list to sort out later today, some conference meeting room type facilities, so hopefully we can jump in there and get a good connection and report back to everyone who's not attending. But I think that's all I had for this call.
Yeah, I think your timing on that would be ideal. That first week is always kind of hard as you're trying to deal with all these in real life things. And, certainly for a lot of the team, this DevCon isn't just a regular crypto conference, right? This is a massive networking, massive, I'll even call it lobbying work with the client teams and the core devs to really try to influence or provide input on the shape and direction of Ethereum, and to be pretty large. So I imagine most of the team, this is going to be a really hard working conference for it. But I do think it'd be great during the DevCon week to get in one of those rooms and kind of update the community. I'll try to post as much as I can, either to trading or to the DevCon conference channel, just so people can follow along. And I will say that even if you're not attending in person, both the staking conference is going to be live streamed. I saw that Langers is giving the keynote, right? I guess it's the 2 keynotes on Thursday morning are kind of Rocket Pool and Lido, and they're kicking it off. So that's pretty impressive that Langers is the pole position on that keynote. The next day, the pole position's given to Vitalik. So I don't know if Langers quite figured out that he's kind of main stage, front and center, just to kind of show that how valuable that pole position presentation is. And then I saw, on that Friday, Nixo's doing one, and kind of a Gnosis sponsored one they call Dev Conflict, to kind of play on terms, but they're basically doing a debate about solo stakers versus institutional stakers. And then, of course, then the whole DevCon talks are all live casted, and there will be a really good, just really good ability for those that are attending virtually to kind of watch all the talks. And in some cases, you might even have a better view than us at the conference. I do remember at the last one in Bogota, if you were just, if you didn't get in line hours ahead for like the main venue, you were so far in the back that all you were doing is looking at the speakers on a jumbotron. You couldn't even see the stage from your seat. You were in the nosebleed section. So you guys might have a better view of what's going on, but definitely carve some time out and watch everything remotely, even if you're not going to be there. It should be a really neat week with lots of information coming out.
Yeah, I've never been to a DevCon, so hopefully this one is going to be just as big, if not more so than...
What do you think about Demon Slayer? Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen are the exact same in that they're mid.
Yeah, no, it's always a great one because you mentioned it earlier. There's kind of this good ratio. I mean, certainly the community conferences like ETH Denver, where you get everybody from lots of different chains, lots of different use cases, from end user, business to business, developer, protocol, DAO. I really feel in DevCon you get just a lot of people that are maybe the builders, or maybe the people that are incredibly passionate about it. So you get a high noise to signal ratio. All the talks are just excellent. They're taught by people who are experts in the field, have really worked hard. They're, at least in the DevCon, it's not a pitch fest. So there's no just hype or shilling. It's just all pure content, and really good. In some ways, it's a lot of information overload. They don't have the agenda out. You kind of have to pace yourself. And a little bit of what I call a Comic-Con strategy, where you have to decide what are the key talks you really want to go to, and then figure out how to best position yourself in the lines and in the crowds to be in the venue to hear that talk in person versus catching it on replay afterwards. But and then of course, like any of these conferences, it's really the people in the hallway that are the thought leaders, and to just have one-on-one conversations or join in a kind of a group conversation or overhear a conversation is pretty invaluable. So this is certainly one of the higher quality conferences to go into. So I'm pretty excited about it. And plus it's Bangkok, it's Thailand. Why would we not be excited?
Yeah, exactly. I haven't been for a while now, but when I lived in Singapore, it was very convenient weekend destination. To be honest, I never really enjoyed it a whole lot, but maybe I just didn't explore properly. There'll certainly be a lot of opportunities coming up next month, so looking forward to it.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. And if anybody comes, recognizes me or in there, it's kind of hard because there's going to be just a sea of people, but definitely come up and say hi. It's the thing I enjoy most, is just meeting so many of the fabulous people from the Rocket Pool community. So it's something I'm looking forward to. All right, Mav. Well, with that, should we call it the end of another community call?
Yeah, I think so. Thanks for a great call, and see you in Bangkok.
All right, excellent. Catch you guys all later. Bye.
See ya.